The movie opens with a scene where a lost man is wandering in an isolated desert. Soon he stumbles upon a mirage-like statue with a mysterious bed. The man finds a beautiful girl sleeping soundly in it. All of this feels quite surprising to him, yet, he tries to wake her up with a kiss. But before she wakes up, the entire setting starts crumbling. His mind becomes clouded, and he sees random visions of vicious creatures attacking him, with a strange demon's voice echoing in the background. The man suddenly wakes to find himself in sleep paralysis and realizes this was a vivid dream. The unknown man is now revealed to be a struggling painter, Thomas Kaiser. Thomas lives alone in a shabby and bleak apartment that shows an outlook of his lifestyle. He has been having these repetitive irregular dreams for many years. The next day, he starts painting his dreams. Thomas occasionally leaves his place to meet with his therapist for regular sessions. The therapist reveals he suffers from sleep disturbance. Thomas confides that his dreams are connected to a devil of the old ages. He explains that a man gets these dreams at a certain time when he is possessed by a demon or devil that had taken completely over that body. The therapist dismisses this by saying that these are just illusions of his mind. She says there might be a wish unfulfilled of the girl connected to it. She concludes this is the reason he is suffering from these dreams. Suddenly, Thomas leaves in frustration before the therapist could say anything else. While Thomas was sitting in an empty park alone and again he starts painting his imagination. That's when he notices something rustling in the bushes. Before he can think more about this, he receives a call from a housing agency that his uncle left him property before his death. So, Thomas visits the agency to inquire more. There the agent hands him some papers and the property is called a Kaiser Garden. She also hands him a letter that his uncle left. This sounded very strange to him as he wasn't aware that he ever had an uncle. In the letter, he finds the picture of the property which eerily looks a lot like the demon house from Thomas's irregular dreams. He goes back to his apartment and reads his uncle's letter. In the letter, his uncle gives full control of the property to Thomas and some more bizarre specific instructions. There are several locked rooms in the mansion and Thomas shouldn't try opening them. These locked rooms have secrets that are better left undiscovered. It ends by mentioning that the men of their family are cursed. His uncle also apologizes for letting the burden of the inheritance fall on Thomas and wishes him good luck. Left confused by the letter, Thomas tries to put the information together. Thomas breaks into the mansion later that night. The house has an old and scary vibe to it. He discovers old statues and skulls everywhere. He scourges through the house. Suddenly, he hears a door closing and he goes to the basement to discover it. He discovers somebody's presence. But it quickly leaves when he spots it. He goes upstairs and suddenly meets a girl called Linda, who happens to be one of the property agents who let him know about his inheritance. She inquires about his uncle's letter, which makes Thomas uneasy. She leaves after. When Thomas sleeps he dreams about the mysterious sleeping girl again. This time she wakes up and tells him that she is Briar Rose. She says only Thomas can release her from the curse that has kept her asleep for 1,000 years. She tells him that Thomas is close to her since he is at the Kaiser Gardens and that she is there too. Rose also tells him that he has to save both of them from the veiled demon. She tells Thomas that the veiled demon is the one who has cursed the Kaiser men. Before the conversation can continue further, Thomas is found back in his bed. Thomas tries to wake up but is in sleep paralysis mode and can only watch as a growing muscly creature attached to him, called the veiled demon. Thomas freaks out and tries to fight it. He wakes up realizing that the demon was the continuation of the dream. In a state of utter fear and panic, Thomas jolts and wakes up. The next morning, Thomas tries to get the property records to understand the happenings properly. He asks the front desk person at the archives of the property's name. The bored and busy woman immediately panics on hearing the word Kaiser Gardens. Not caring, Thomas searches for information on the property. He looks shocked over a mysterious note left on the documents. Thomas follows Linda, who initially ignores him. Thomas lets her know that he had found her handwriting on the notes he found and forces her to the truth. Linda acts shady as if she knows more than she lets on. She conceals her actual reasons for working on this particular property, but she later admits that her brother went missing inside the mansion, and so have hundreds of other people. When Thomas forces her to tell him more, she says she does not believe he has something to do with the missing cases. Soon, Thomas feels sick and sees flashes of visions similar to the creatures he found in his dream, and blacks out. Completely freaked out, Linda gets him to a hospital. The doctor declares that he is suffering from a panic attack. Thomas is stuck in the dream and cannot seem to wake up. Thomas doesn't get any better and struggles to live in his dream without being able to wake up. Thomas wakes up the next day and Linda informs him that he had gotten better after she's brought him back to Kaiser Gardens. They both realize that Thomas can't stay outside of the mansion for too long or it could be dangerous to him. He realizes how serious matters are and they both worry about the unpredictable future. Linda recounts how her brother's girlfriend was the last person to see him within the mansion. Although she had managed to flee, her brother never escaped according to Linda's recollection of the story. It pushes Thomas further to believe that there really might be a curse. It also makes Linda and Thomas discover the mansion more to find answers about the curse. They began searching for a secret passage inside the house but didn't find one. The two arrive in front of an antique table-like ornament. With the help of Thomas's uncle's letter, he finds that the table hides a passageway behind it. Unable to push the table aside, Thomas realizes that his bloodline is the key to unlocking the ornament. With the help of his uncle's letter, he pricks his finger and places it on a holder. It immediately creates rumbling noises and leads them into a hidden room. The room has spell books and occult practicing instruments like skulls and metal ornaments. Linda finds a journal tied that she immediately breaks. Thomas becomes shaken as his uncle specifically asked him not to break anything according to his letter. They discover that the book was written by someone of Kaiser ancestry. It is written in an ancient language. Immediately the room begins shaking along with violent noises. The two try to uncover more secrets but the situation gets worse. And the falling of chandeliers leads Thomas and Linda to run out for their lives. The two are attacked by mannequins that have come to life and heavy creatures from Thomas's dream when they try to leave the room. They fight their way through the attacks of these creatures along with the journal in hand. An unknown man pulls up in the car and Linda asks Thomas to get in the car. The driver is Richard Meyer, a paranormal investigator called by Linda to rescue them. As Richard and Linda explain the situation, Thomas watches the mannequins observing them leave through the mansion's life-size window. Developing immense fear of the things he had witnessed, Thomas begins to believe in the curse. He is unsettled as he clutches the journal. The trio leaves for Linda's home. Linda reveals her reason for bringing them there as she shows them her darkroom showcasing several pictures taken at the Kaiser Gardens. The pictures show dark figures within the house photographed from the outside. These figures are human-like and more paranormal. Thomas and Richard observe them in silence. Richard tells them that the paranormal activities could be the doings of jinns. The jinn's presence matches Thomas's descriptions of the creatures and their relation to Linda's pictures. He also confirms his thesis as jinns can possess inanimate objects as they did with the mannequins. Richard is intrigued by the cosmic connection Thomas has with the Kaiser Gardens. However, Thomas feels uneasy and scared. Thomas realizes if he is away from the Kaiser Gardens for a long time he might die. He takes Linda's car on a ride away with the journal in hand. He is overwhelmed by the sudden horrors that have taken over his life. Thomas flips through the pages of the journal. He realizes that his primary connection is with Briar Rose, not the veiled demon. Rose had previously informed him that he is now closer to her in the Kaiser Gardens. Thomas finally realizes that this cosmic connection ties him and her, and not the house. The trio seeks a person who can decipher the ancient language in the journal. Linda contacts Daniel, a coder whom she had met on a few dates. Daniel appears to be nerdy and quite affectionate with Linda. He tries to impress Richard and dislikes Thomas. Daniel works on his computer and finds out that the language is a mixture of codes and old languages. Daniel explains that his software will take more time to decipher the codes. In the meantime, Thomas's friend reaches Kaiser Gardens, unaware of the paranormal activities happening inside. He repeatedly calls for Thomas but he does not answer. He begins to feel the presence of someone in the house and starts following an entity. He starts getting haunted by the mannequins and creatures. He runs for his. To hide, he slips onto the bed and hides under the sheets where a creature grows over him. It grows larger and has a screaming face, which eventually kills him. Linda and Thomas grow closer with time as the language is being deciphered. Thomas admits he had returned to the town after the passing of his fiancée due to cancer. He explains how he has had a good life back in the city and how he had his life finally figured out. Everything fell apart after his fiancée's passing. He admits that he moved back to this town only to run away from his past. He regrets how his life has failed, and so has his career as a result of this curse he was unaware of. He wishes he could move on, but he believes that unless the curse is lifted, his life will not be right. Thomas admits that he feels better about everything since Linda is sharing his sorrows with him. As the two come closer to kiss, Thomas mentions that he might have a special connection with Briar Rose. He tells her that his dream has followed him throughout his life. He feels this might have something to do with Briar Rose. Linda, embarrassed by his thoughts, tells Thomas to sleep so they can finish the curse. Thomas regrets telling Linda about Briar Rose. Drunk on Richard's alcohol, Daniel and Richard doze off together. Thomas spends the night dreaming of several creatures and the veiled demon. He also sees the visions that resemble premonitions that project him at the grounds of Kaiser Gardens. In the morning, they receive their first deciphered piece of information, a letter written by Liam Kaiser, an ancestor of Thomas. Richard explains the story from the letter of the coming of Iblis, the one who refused to bow to Adam. It is Satan according to the Quran or Bible in different contexts. He also suggests that the veiled demon is guarding Briar Rose. So Rose will be eternally asleep to increase the demon's eternal life. Thomas remembers his conversation with the painter who had mentioned the huge basement of the mansion. According to an old blueprint, Thomas finds this is where Rose might be confined. Thomas falls sick and enters the dream, and Rose asks him to hurry back to Kaiser Gardens. She informs that the demon's quality to thrive increases in his absence. Linda, Richard and Thomas return to the mansion, leaving Daniel to decipher the rest of the journal. This trio enters the hidden room that they had entered before with the help of Thomas's blood. Richard assures them that they will be safe in his presence because he knows spells that can ward off demons. He brings a gun. Although Thomas is not sure about the gun, he goes with Richard's plans. Richard tells his experience in surviving paranormal activities to assure them. They walk into the tunnel to the next room. The tunnel takes them into another room with creepier mannequins. These mannequins are more lifelike than the ones that had attacked Linda and Thomas before. As they slowly remove the sheets covering these mannequins, Linda finds one of them closely looking like her brother Luke. As Linda starts crying, the mannequin comes to life and attacks them. They realize the fate of the people who went missing. The trio attack Liam's mannequin and enters the next room. They find Jinn and hatch a plan to distract her while Thomas can reach for Briar Rose and end the curse. Richard chants powerful spells for the destruction of the Jinn while Thomas finds Rose after much searching and wakes her up. The veiled demon signals that there are 13 other Jinns as she hurts Linda and Richard. Thomas opens the glass case containing Briar Rose and tries kissing her awake, but it does not work. Thomas remembers the bloodline being the key to opening things in the mansion. He kisses Briar Rose, this time using some of his blood from his pricked finger. Briar Rose slowly wakes up in a white gown with a pale face. She wakes up to reality. Next, she kisses Thomas and thanks him. But to their horror, her eyes turn black and evil. She reveals herself to be the beginning of a prophecy. This prophecy is the curse of the Kaiser family. She attacks Thomas as he falls weak. The Jinn informs that Linda and Richard are wrong and that she is the one controlling Briar Rose, making her evil. The Jinn is the one trying to cage her, trying to stop a disaster. Midway through this revelation, Briar Rose kills the Jinn. Thomas tries to tell Linda and Richard that Rose has to be stopped because she is evil. As Linda tries to attack Rose, Rose stops her. She lets them know that she is about to unleash darkness upon the world. Rose tells them that she would not kill them, so they have to witness all of it. Briar Rose performs an apparition and disappears within dark smoke. On the other hand, Daniel receives the final document of the decoded journal. Daniel reads the prophecy aloud. The final truth is revealed, but it is not what anyone could have expected. It says that the last man of the Kaiser ancestry would suffer from nightmares and visions of his cursed ancestors' souls. He would constantly fail at recognizing the ultimate truth until it is too late. He will come close to the original place where the curse belongs, and he will still not be unable to identify the true evil. As the events mentioned in the prophecy have already taken place through Thomas, he is shocked and left speechless. It is finally revealed that this is the end of the prophecy and the beginning of a terrifying apocalypse. The ultimate twist is that the end of the world is the claim of the prophecy. Briar Rose directly addresses the viewer about how she will begin the end of the world soon, evoking chills and fear through her evil smile.